So about 3 months ago, I think it was back in February, I did a video on 20 habits of frugal people. And when I came up with my initial list of topics that I wanted to bring out, it ended up being pretty long. And I started thinking about my own attention span and the fact that I did not want like a 30-minute video. So I thought it would be best to kind of split that video over 2 videos and spread it out over a span of a few months. So in today's video, we are going to piggyback off of that one, and we're going to discuss a few more habits that can help you keep more of your hard-earned cash in your pocket. But before we go into the tips, if you are new here and you like videos on personal finance, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. And if at any point throughout the video you hear something that you like, or maybe a tip that you want to implement in your own life, give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. As a smaller, newer channel, those likes and comments help more than you realize. It will allow my channel to get more exposure so that others can discover me too. So the first tip is to avoid dry clean only garments, or at the very least buy fewer of these garments. There was a time when I would go shopping and I would never look at the care label on clothes, and as a result I ended up with a lot of pieces that were dry cleaned only. And I don't know how much it costs where you live, but you know, at $4, $5 a pop, dry cleaning, it can get expensive. So now when I go shopping, I always look at the care instructions. And I'm not saying that I will never ever buy garments that are dry cleaned only again. That's a little unrealistic. However, they are not my first choice. The upside though is that I found that it is possible to safely wash some dry clean only garments in the washing machine on the gentle cycle. And once they've been washed, you can throw them over the shower or place them on a drying rack so that they can air dry. Number 2, check your health insurance plan to see if you'll get a discount on gym memberships. Now, the thing about your health insurance company is that they want you to stay healthy, because the healthier you are, that means you'll have fewer doctor's appointments and you'll need fewer prescriptions. As a member perk, some health insurance providers will also give you a discount on gym memberships. Now, they will not outright pay for your membership. What they might do is give you a discount on your monthly premium, or once a year, they'll give you a reimbursement up to $250. But the thing about this incentive is that it's not really advertised, so it's something that you have to call and ask about. Number 3, ask for a discount, and this applies no matter where you are. I have used this technique so many times and it has worked, because there are many restaurants and retailers who will give discounts to students, teachers, or people in law enforcement, but they don't always advertise these discounts, so you have to ask. And even when you're shopping at a retail store and you don't have like a coupon or a discount code, ask the cashier if they have something behind the counter, because they might. I've done this so often in the past, and a lot of times the cashier will have a rescannable coupon next to her station where she can just reach over, scan, and I get 20% off just from opening my mouth. Number 4, dine at culinary schools, and this is probably one of the best kept secrets when it comes to fine dining. If you live near a culinary school, there is a good chance that this school has either a dining hall or a restaurant attached to its building, which is used to give the students practice with cooking for the public. So maybe a couple of times throughout the week or the month, they will open up their dining hall to the public, and you can enjoy like a fine dining experience. I'm talking like 3-course meals or more, where the students will cook for you, and because your meal is being prepared by students, you will pay about half than what you would pay if you were at another restaurant. Number 5 is use up everything in your house before you replace it. And this applies to anything, but I am specifically talking about personal care items, maybe your lotion, your shampoo, and your toothpaste. Just thinking on my own personal history, there have been so many times where, you know, I'm trying to get lotion out, it's not coming out because it's near the end, and I just toss the whole bottle. But just because nothing squeezes out does not mean it's completely empty. So one thing that you can do is take a pair of scissors and maybe cut the tube or the bottle in half. By doing this, you will probably find a lot of product on the inside of the tube or the bottle, and in many cases, you could probably get a few more days use out of this product before you actually throw it away. Number 6, check the price of prescription medication without insurance. Now, if you are getting medication and you have insurance, you know, you might automatically assume that using your insurance will always be cheaper, but this is not always the case. Sometimes your prescription copay will be more expensive than the cost of actually buying the medication out of pocket. I learned about this years ago when I dropped off a prescription at the pharmacy. You know, I gave them my insurance information, and the person who took my prescription and was getting all my information in the computer, she told me, she was like, well, if you buy this medication, you know, you have a $25 copay. However, if you were to get the generic version of this medication and pay for it on your own, you would only pay $4 out of pocket. She was like, so do you want to just pay for it out of pocket? And I'm like, yes. The point is, when buying medication, never assume that it's cheaper to use your insurance. Always compare the cost of buying it out of pocket. Number 7, unplug appliances you don't use. And I knew people in the past who would do this. They would always unplug like their toaster and their microwave and their TV when they weren't using it. And I used to think that was a bit extreme. Like, I mean, seriously, how much power are you actually saving? However, I stand corrected, because people who unplug their appliances, their small appliances especially, they can usually save about $200 to $400 a year. And the reason why is because even when you don't have an item turned on, the fact that it's still plugged into the wall means that it is still drawing power, and that's power that you are paying for. Now, of course, I'm not suggesting that you go through your house and you start unplugging your big appliances or your hard to reach appliances, but for smaller things like your coffee maker, your toaster, or maybe your microwave, if it's something that you're not using, unplug it, and this way you could probably save hundreds every year on your electricity bill. Number 8, multi-purpose personal care items. And this is such a good tip, because I think a lot of times there is a tendency to accumulate a lot of beauty products, a lot of hygiene products. And the reality is, a lot of the things that we buy can also be used for other purposes. For example, instead of buying shaving cream, you could easily shave using conditioner, using soap, or using your shower gel. And if you have a problem with dry scalp or dandruff, instead of going out here and buying expensive shampoo, another technique is just using apple cider vinegar. You can put it on your scalp, allow it to sit, then rinse and shampoo as normal. Or if you have a problem with dry skin, dry hair, or maybe you have eye makeup that's difficult to remove, instead of getting 3 different products to take care of all these issues, all you really need is coconut oil. Liquid coconut oil is great for hydrating your skin. It can remove makeup, and it can also add sheen to your hair. Number 9 is borrow before buying. And I think this is such an excellent tip, because I cannot tell you how many items I have in my house that I have only used one time. And it could be tools, it can even be special seasonings when I was cooking like a special item and I bought something that I'm probably never going to use again. And even special occasions, like if you go to a wedding or you go to a formal and you want to get a dress and you know that you're probably only going to wear this like one time, it really doesn't make any sense to spend the money. Chances are you have a friend, you have a relative, you have a co-worker, there is someone who is willing to lend you these items. That way you don't have to spend your money. Number 10 is cook large portions and freeze the leftovers. And basically, if you're preparing a meal for yourself or your family, occasionally it might make sense to prepare a little extra and then put whatever you don't eat in the freezer. And this really comes in handy on those days when you are tired or you are busy or you just simply don't feel like cooking, because if you're not in the mood to cook, more than likely you're gonna order takeout, and there's nothing wrong with doing that. The problem is if you do it a lot, it can get costly. The best thing you can do is to prepare for these nights in advance and always having something in your freezer. That way, if you don't feel like cooking, you can just take it out, you can defrost it, throw it in the microwave, and you have dinner. Number 11 is ditch the K-cups. And this is something that I did years ago and I've kind of gotten away from it, and I don't really know why. So if you like using your Keurig or maybe a similar coffee device, you know how expensive K-cups can be. But one thing you can do to really spend less money in this area is to buy a refillable pod. I have one that I got years ago, and I don't remember how much I paid for it, but it wasn't that expensive. I think I got it on Amazon for like less than $10, and it's so cool because you can get your coffee grounds, you put it in there, and then you throw it in your Keurig, and you can still get your 1 cup. The difference though is that you no longer have to buy expensive pods, which is really a huge money saver, because I know personally I get the generic breakfast blend and I pay about $4 usually for about 12 of the pods, and that's not really bad. However, when I think back to when I was buying coffee grounds, I could usually get about, I don't know, a package this big for probably $4. So I mean, the savings with the grounds, I mean, it's obvious. So if you feel as if you're spending too much money on your Keurig or your other similar device, definitely switch to the refillable pod. And again, these are super cheap. I mean, you could probably find one for like $5 or $10. Number 12 is use half of your normal amount of items like toothpaste, shampoo, and conditioner. And this is something that I've started doing recently, and I've noticed a huge difference, because before, when I would wash my hair, I would use like a glob of shampoo, and it was really more than I needed to use. So I've cut that down by about half. Using less does not take away from the cleanliness in any way whatsoever. And the upside is that my products, they last longer. That way I'm able to spend less money. Number 13 is to buy your eyeglasses online. And I realize that this may not be everyone's cup of tea. However, I have been getting my glasses from Zenni Optical for about 10 years now, and I've had nothing but positive experiences with them. If you buy eyeglasses from an actual store, then you know how expensive frames and lenses can be. I mean, usually I would pay no less than $250, and I like having multiple frames because I do like having like maybe a clear pair, a black pair, and maybe even a brown pair. One cool thing about Zenni and other similar retailers is that their frames are super cheap. I mean, you can buy frames for like $9, $29, $39. And yes, the frames are plastic, but in my opinion, they don't look cheap, and they do last a long time. Usually when I get a pair of glasses, I can keep them 2-3 years before I'm ready to upgrade to a new pair. Number 14 is get cash back on everyday shopping. And if you haven't already, I really encourage you to download a cashback shopping app. And there are several that you can choose from. One is Ibotta, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And there's another one, I believe it's called Checkout 51. And the way you use these apps, I mean, it is so user-friendly. Basically, you make your purchase, and then once you complete the purchase, you scan your receipt with the app. And if the purchase is eligible, you can earn real cash. And the cool thing about using a cashback app is that a lot of them will work whether you are shopping in person or you are shopping online. So there you have it. That is my list of additional frugal habits that can help you keep more of your hard-earned cash in your pocket. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up. Again, my channel, we talk a lot about personal finance, how you can live a more frugal life, but also how you can make better decisions with your money and improve your entire financial picture. So if you like videos like this and you want to see more, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. I post every weekend and sometimes during the week. So thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in a few days.